I request Mr. Andrew Larpent to kindly walk back because we're going to be having you to present the keynote address for all of us here. So yes, a quick introduction about this gentleman. Well, he's an accomplished leader with a rich career spanning over 25 plus years in social care and retirement sectors globally, following 33 years in the British Army. Wow. And he's also the founder and Chairman Emeritus of the Commonwealth Association for ASLI Ageing CommonAge. So without further ado, a very warm welcome to you, sir. Namaste. And let's have the biggest round of applause for the gentleman, please.
Well, it is amazing and a wonderful privilege to be back with the ASLI family. And it is 5 years since I spoke at the ASLI. Then you called it a concave, now you call it a conclave, now you call it a fest. But it's a joyous occasion of coming together of committed, passionate people, all who are seeking to make a difference in the lives of seniors across India. So, to my friends, greetings from across the Commonwealth. We've been on a wonderful journey this week. I'm not alone. I've been accompanied by the Vice Chair of CommonAge, Ms. Fameda Shamam, who you will hear from later, who has come from Durban in South Africa, and I've come from the United Kingdom. And we have been guided, escorted, entertained, and shown so much by our dear friend and colleague, Mr. Mansoor Dalal, the founder of ASLI, who is now the Chair Emeritus of ASLI, because he's taken on a wider role, because he is the Chair of CommonAge. And I am now the Chair Emeritus of CommonAge. So we have arranged a succession which allows me to concentrate on some other priorities which are emerging in my life, which I will talk about in a moment. But for those of you that are not familiar with CommonAge, we are an international NGO. We were founded in Australia in 2013, so we're just over a decade old. ASLI is a little older than us, but we have the similar aspirations to make life better for seniors across the Commonwealth. In our case, the Commonwealth consisting of 56 countries, ranging from St. Lucia in the Caribbean to the Solomon Islands, from Scotland to South Africa, 56 countries that work together, come together voluntarily, and which constitute 1/3 of the population of the globe, 2.7 billion people. And if I say that 1.4 billion, a little over 50%, is the population of India, you will appreciate just how significant and important the role of India is in the Commonwealth. India was one of its founding members and has been a loyal partner and friend to the Commonwealth for the 75 years that it has existed, and in striving to bring countries together, no matter what the history, about binding together on common grounds, on common values, and in many cases, it's a shared love of cricket. It's a great unifying force around the Commonwealth, as I know, very competitive, but of course, so is our sector, isn't it? So it's 5 years since I came here to speak to the ASLI conclave then, and a lot has happened in those 5 years. A lot has happened in the world, a lot has happened in India, a lot has happened in CommonAge. I suppose the main thing that has happened, well, various serious things going on in the world, climate change, health emergencies, that dreadful pandemic which affected our seniors disproportionately around the world and has caused so much heart-searching about people who provide services. In my country, the United Kingdom, we got so many things wrong. I cannot tell you what a crisis of confidence it represented in the support that we provide, particularly for seniors in my country. Some of it was shameful. I was on the board of a large organization in England at that time, and they completely lost the plot. when it came to how to look after seniors through that particular period. And an incident that I shan't go into now, but it certainly affected me very deeply. It was a shameful incident of neglect that meant that I couldn't serve with that organization anymore because it lost sight of the person who we were looking at and trying to care for. But it's not all bad. There's been some fantastic progress as well, innovation and energy, particularly in services for the older people. And we pick up a lot of impressions when we come to somewhere like your beautiful country at this time. And what I've noticed, and I think I've noticed it slightly enhanced, considerably enhanced, since I was last here, is the spirit of energy that I sense in India, and also a sense of confidence in your nation, that you have a really important part to play in the world as it progresses, and in our case, in the Commonwealth. We want to encourage you to do what your chairman has been doing, your Chair Emeritus and I have been doing, which is to take a lot of the energy and initiative and experience and innovation that is happening in this country and in others, but take it to the far reaches of the Commonwealth. So Mansoor Dalal, in October, he was representing CommonAge at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in the island of Samoa in the Pacific. So one of the things that we are able to do now as an organization that is considered credible and valued within the Commonwealth is we have the ear of ministers when we go to international meetings. And a colleague has been at a minister meeting just yesterday, a virtual meeting preparing for the Commonwealth Health Ministers meeting next year, where aging is now on the agenda. We have done a lot of work. We've produced a fantastic report on dementia across the Commonwealth. And a week ago, we were here in Bangalore celebrating that document and promoting it to the Dementia India Alliance, which is another great innovation coming out of India. During that time, our shift of focus from CommonAge has focused increasingly on India. Not only is this the country where our chair is based, but also our secretariat is based in India. Our communications hub is based in India. During those 5 years, we have worked to produce and support the production of standards for seniors living and aged care in India for the first time. So this is about the partnership that we represent. And it's been a wonderful few years, really, despite that awful period that I talked about of the pandemic. It has been a real 5 years of fantastic progress. And what I see now in the family of ASLI, it's a growing family, meeting ever-growing need for the kinds of services that you provide. And I saw just now in the video clips some evidence, some examples of the wonderful person-centered focus that you all have. But, I'm going to come to the but. In those 5 years, I have also grown older. So I've moved on from chairing this organization that I'm proud to say that I founded back in 2013, and I'm focusing on different priorities, because I'm now in that age group where my hair is gray, my energy is undimmed, but I am now approaching the time when I need to put my life in the hands of other people. When we had a wonderful party last night, and I do thank our hosts from Primus who gave us a fantastic party and celebrated, and the energy in that party and here in this organization is just palpable. But when I got back to my hotel room, I was on a video link with my wife, who had the estate agents in yesterday to value our house because we're going to put it on the market next year. My wife, during those 5 years, has been diagnosed with Parkinson's. She's living with it, she's living well with it, she's coping with it, but we now recognize that we need to make the change. So during the course of the next 12 months, we will sell our house, we will downsize, and we will move our lives into some form of seniors living, probably in the United Kingdom, because that's where we are, that's where our family is, and being close to family and to our community is absolutely central to our thinking. But what are we thinking about? Over the last 5 years, I have visited seniors living facilities all across the south of the United Kingdom, dozens of them. We had a short list of 10 organizations that I'd identified that I wanted to go and look at. And gradually, over that time, we have crossed off the list. And we have crossed increasingly, narrowing down our choice. And at the moment, we're looking at 2. And interestingly, one is based a long term, it's been there since about the 1920s. It's an organization called St. Monica Trust in Bristol, in the south of England. And I have to say that word trust it features very strongly in my thinking. The other organization that I'm looking at is a large provider of seniors living services that has been, again, going in the UK since about the 1990s and has done really, really well. It's been very successful and is continuing to go forward. And it's a commercial organization, it's for profit. And so I'm looking at that, and I think they have a great reputation. They could meet our needs. But what I, above all, when I walk into a site, and I can tell now, I've been at it long enough, I can tell within 2 or 3 minutes of walking in the door of a setting of a facility, whether it's somewhere that I am keen to explore going further and perhaps committing the rest of my life to. And you sense a sense of community or a lack of a sense of community, a sense of engagement or lack of. You know, your instincts, you're tuned in to what you're experiencing, what you're hearing, and then that helps to guide your choice. And I'm thinking all the time of what am I doing in making this choice? It is my last time move. It is moving and putting the rest of my life and that of my wife into the hands of somebody who I'm going to need to trust, to care and support me and my wife for as long as God gives us left on this earth. And it's a big, big deal for us personally. Things that are important. Above all, a sense of community. Above all, a sense of connectedness to my family, to my grandchildren. Above all, a sense that I'm going into an organization that believes that it can do a better job tomorrow than it's done today. So one that sets standards and maintains those standards and continues to raise the bar. So that, if you like, is my message to ASLI. You are doing an amazing job, all of you, but continue to think about the person that you're caring for. Continue to keep your eyes focused on the goal. You are offering people the chance to enjoy happiness in their senior years. So never lose sight of that. And it's a great joy to listen to, and I'm going to look forward to your proceedings during the course of today. But thank you very much for the invitation to come back to ASLI and to be with you today. It is a great honor. Thank you.
The Chairman ASLI, Managing Director and CEO from Antara Senior Living, to kindly hand over a small token of appreciation as a gesture of gratitude. Let's have the biggest round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I request you to kindly stay back because we have your opening remarks now for all of us. Superb. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up and let's welcome on stage Mr. Rajit Mehta, Chairman ASLI, Managing Director and CEO from Antara Senior Living. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
And namaste and good morning to all of you. And from my side as well, my privilege and honor to welcome you to the 5th ASLI Aging Fest, which has now become the most sought after, the most coveted event for senior care in India. It has, over a period of time, evolved into a cornerstone of innovation, of collaboration, and of thought-provoking dialogue, in the industry. I'm amazed to see so many people. So Bani each time pulls a rabbit out of a hat and gets the event going. So thank you very much, for that. I'm so glad that we are having the event in Bangalore. Not only because it's away from the pollution and smog in Delhi, but I think Bangalore has a buzzing senior care ecosystem of young and not so young entrepreneurs who are passionately trying to solve different challenges faced by seniors in India. And yesterday night, Adarsh graciously hosted us for a dinner. It was absolutely inspiring and awesome to interact with some of those young entrepreneurs. And I'm hoping that the discussions will carry on today, and who knows, there could be some new interesting beginnings and as we interact. A very special welcome to all our international guests, delegates, and speakers, Pemada, Andrew, William, Nathaniel, and our friends from Sompo Holdings. There are many people who have come from across the world and across different states from India. So thank you for being here. A big thank you to our delegates, speakers, panelists, and sponsors for making this event happen. India has always and will continue to be a country of contrasts, not only in terms of our cuisine or language or culture, but if you look at any venture, any opportunity, the numbers, the statistics at a macro level seem to be quite mesmerizing. The opportunity is quite large. But when you start to think about efficient, profitable ways of serving the opportunity, that's why you start to get a little bit paralyzed. So I say India is a country of contrasts. We already have about 135 million seniors. That's more than the population of many, many countries across the world. By 2050, 1 in every 5 Indian will be a senior. The moment I think about that, it's quite a daunting image, in the head of the sheer number of seniors we'll have to serve. Yet, the sector has only a 1.3% penetration, while in mature markets, the penetration is about 6%. So there lies the opportunity, for us. But as Andrew said, while the opportunity is there, we should not forget the person that we serve, and that's very important. Thank you for sharing that. Niti Aayog in February 2024 released a report estimating the sector size to be about $7 billion, and then JLL released a report saying that India will need about 18 lakh units of seniors in India. If you put that together, it's about a 10 to 15 billion dollar opportunity sitting out there. In the last few years, at least I have seen a rapid evolution in the senior care sector. More and more players are now joining in for senior living. There are people looking at models of remote-based care, devices for seniors. We ourselves launched a platform last year called AgeEasy for chronic disease, products for seniors, as well. So the sector is just coming along, and so has the government. So the government has started to think about how to strengthen its framework, its policies. There are councils being set up. And ASLI has worked with these authorities and the government at many fronts. So we gave our inputs to Maharashtra RERA to release the guidelines for senior living. We actively worked with Haryana to look at the senior living policy and to also formulate a policy called the medico-assisted living facilities, which enables assisted living to be set up, in residential areas. ASLI is now releasing a voluntary checklist for senior living standards along with Grant Thornton. We will audit all the facilities. And whoever passes muster, ASLI will issue a certificate of excellence, so the customer has some semblance of quality of offerings. We also work with NABH. My friend Prem is here, so Prem worked actively with NABH, look at standards for care homes, and the standards have now got released. So ASLI really, our mission is to work with the government because we do believe that a good regulatory framework will help unleash the potential of the sector. We're also hoping as this comes into place, insurance will design specific products for seniors which will give a tailwind and truly unleash the potential of the sector. Today we're also releasing a research report by McKinsey. I don't know if Mrinalini is here or not. She'll join us surely towards the afternoon. We did a research about 500 seniors and 4 very interesting insights came out. One, they not only want to live longer, they're also prioritizing healthy living. So the spends on wellness outside the hospital have gone up. Now, if you estimate the top 30 cities SEC-B population, that market itself for wellness is about 30 to 40,000 crores. And that's come up, after COVID. And particularly after COVID, the acceptability of senior living and assisted living has gone up exponentially. They're also very surprisingly now tech savvy. So Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, they're also ordering on Flipkart, as well as, Amazon. And they're looking for causes and connection, because one of the issues that you face as you start to age is isolation and relevance. So they're looking for like-minded communities, hobby classes, and also for causes they can associate, and feel relevant. This year's conclave asks a very provocative question. Is the sector really ready for takeoff? Or is it going to be 10 more years before we see some semblance of, of organization coming through? And the panel that we have is a very envious panel of moderators, of speakers and panelists who will examine 4 fundamental building blocks for the sector, which is innovation, technology, financing, and how do we create the capacity to serve. We don't even have enough nursing in a hospital, so where will these caregivers come from? They will look at unmet needs of seniors, they will explore insights from the Indian market, look at global success stories, and also look at implications for policy making and for enterprise. And then at the end of the forum, we'll try to summarize these findings and make concrete 4 or 5 steps which we can then take forward to advance the sector. I am myself eagerly looking forward to these discussions and deliberations. How can the private sector play a more pivotal role as we speak? Yesterday, the UP government called for a meeting of private-public partnership, possibly in senior living. So let's see how that progresses. What strategic partnerships we can look forward to. And also touch upon the importance of customized financial solutions, such as annuities or retirement plans. My request to all of you is please engage, please ask, please explore, please discuss, so that all of us together can move towards making a more robust senior care ecosystem so that our seniors can live with joy, with self-respect, and with dignity. And I reiterate what Andrew said, while we will run enterprises, while we will make our models, let's not forget that smiling face that we serve. So thank you very much and have a lovely event. Thank you.
Thank you much, sir. And now moving on quickly to the next session, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having a fireside chat by Mr. Nithin Kamath. As all of you know, a quick introduction about the gentleman. Well, he's the founder and CEO of Zerodha, which is India's largest stockbroking company, serving over 15 million clients. Exciting developments are unfolding in the healthcare factor. In the elder care sector, last year, Age Care Labs raised 11 million in a pre-series B funding round, which was led by Nithin Kamath's Rain Matter Capital and Rain Gruhas. Exciting developments are unfolding, and similarly, Primus Senior Living secured 20 million in seed funding backed by General Catalyst and which was supported by Nikhil Kamath and Gruhas. Well, these milestones highlight the growing interest and potential in the age tech space. So we're going to be having him connect virtually here with us, but we have a moderator, so please help me in welcoming Mr. Adarsh Narahari, ex-chairman from ASLI, Managing Director, Primus Senior Living, to join us on stage, please.
Very good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here. All of you being here is a great testament to the potential this sector holds. Special thanks to people who have flown in from overseas, Andrew, Nathaniel, Bill, and the team from Sompo. Unfortunately, Nithin couldn't be here in person today. He had a travel emergency, but he's graciously accepted to join us online. He's going to be joining us in a few minutes, but let me tell you a little bit about Nithin. I'm sure all of you know who Nithin is. He's probably one of India's most celebrated entrepreneurs. They control something like 15% of all stock market value. But in the context of senior care and health, I know for a fact that this is something that's very close to Nithin's heart. He's a big believer in impact businesses. He's a big believer in any business that is built around health. And he's somebody who has a very, very long-term view. He's not someone who will come and give you capital and say, hey, you need to show me some returns in the next year or next couple of years. He's very happy to be invested for a decade and things like that. I think that's what makes him different. The other thing is he's a strong proponent of health, which I'm sure you'll hear him talk about today, and how he looks at health and how he looks at aging. So this is what makes him an amazing speaker for us to have here with us today. And we're very grateful that he could make this time. Let me just check up. Has he joined online? Okay. 2-3 more minutes? Okay. Do we have a filler? I'm not... Okay. Yeah, so we'll take this few minutes that we have. In case anybody has a question they want to ask Nithin, I can ask that on your behalf. Anything? Do we have a very talented, skilled person who can entertain the audience for a few minutes? Ankur, I think 1 or 2 laughs from you does the trick, man. That wakes up everybody. Yesterday we were in Kaze and everybody in Sheraton couldn't sleep because of Ankur's laughing. Sorry? That's a long list because we have something like 300 registrations. 350 registrations, so we'll need more than the time that this session would take. Sure. But we'll find a way that all of us can, get to know each other better. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Good idea, good idea. Thank you, Ankur. Can we get a quick show of hands? How many of you are in senior living? And I'm going to caveat that by saying active senior living. Active senior living? Okay. So I'm very happy that it's not the full room. Assisted living, nursing care, hospice care. Okay, that's awesome. What about people who do home care? Nice. And people who do services for elders? Age tech folks? Wow, so we have a great representation, guys. When we started the ASLI Aging Festival, there were 20 of us in the room, mostly senior living players. And even if you wind back a few more years, there was another company that used to do these conferences, and there were 10 of us. And the same 10 of us, we used to pay to meet each other and pay the money to some person from outside the country. So, yeah, it was called something. So that's when we thought, okay, you know what, we need an Indian product for this. And of course, Mansoor Bhai is the one who came up with the idea of ASLI, and he planted the seed, and some of us have helped him turn it into a bit of a shrub or a bush right now. And time will tell if this is going to become a big yielding tree for all of us. Okay, I can see that Nithin has joined. Is this alignment okay? I think you need to turn it around, right? Nithin, can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, is it better?
Yes, yes. Hi, Nithin. Very good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us virtually.
Hey, sorry to not being there. I was had a lot of last minute travel. So.
Thank you, nevertheless, for making time. And I was just telling the audience here about how you're a big believer in long-term impact, how you're a big believer in people who solve for health, and how you're also a very patient investor. And that's what makes you an amazing person to hear from. Of course, all your achievements is something that's already out there. But today, I'd like to talk a little bit more about your lens on aged care, healthcare, and the way that you see this sector. So we'll start off, Nithin. So we'll talk about what this sector is and what you see as, you know, some of the gaps in the industry, right? So if you were to build in the sector of aged care and senior living or aged tech, where do you see the gap? What would you address first?
I think the gap is I don't really think it's a gap, but really mainstreaming the idea that it is not old age homes but senior care, as in that is really the problem to solve, and I think eventually it will catch up. Eventually, people will understand and appreciate that this is not really, this is like senior care, but currently the problem is how do you remove the social stigma that exists and etc. So, and I think also how do we address to the population beyond the top 1 to 5%, as in because most of what everyone is building today is catering to that percentage of population. And there's going to be a large senior population outside the top 1 to 5%. How do we address to that is also a problem that we need to think about.
I'm going to caveat the question a little more. So the people in this room are all for profit, and whether we like it or not, the 1 to 5% are the people who pay us. So my request is we'll try to address that group today. While I'm sure you and Rain Matter are doing a lot for the 95%, this group is doing for the 5%. So if you were building in that 5%, what would you build?
I mean, I would definitely build for, the senior care, as in, I would, any aspect of it, I don't care what it is, I would be building for that. I mean, I don't want to pick up, like ideas and say this is the idea that I like. But I think the key is to not think short term, right? As in, because I think this is a long term business. Think of it almost as a 15-year-old business, as in, because most of the VCable startups and ideas that you get, you tend to sign up term sheet with saying that you'll give an exit in 7 to 10 years. And this is more like a 15 to 18-year journey, and we are way ahead in the race, way behind in the race, because we are trying to build a startup and hope that the trend eventually catches up. So I guess it's about that,
So before you came on the call, I was just telling this audience that Nithin takes a 10-year horizon on whatever he invests in. But you said 18. So all of you heard that, guys. I don't think you can ever get an investor like Nithin who will say, it's okay, go figure it out, we'll wait with you, right? So we're grateful for people who are there who look at businesses in this lens. So moving on, Nithin, we have seen that bringing in some, an angle of financial literacy, most of the people that we cater to typically put all their money in FDs, right? Typically elders put all their money in FDs. So what are some of the things that you would do to probably guide them for better, I don't know if the word is better, but for financial planning beyond FDs?
I mean, I don't know. As in, I don't know if people should be putting beyond FDs. Because
you're a stock market broker, you can't say that.
No, I got a vested interest, but really, in a sense that as you grow older, your risk-taking appetite goes down. And by the time you're 60, 70, I don't think you should really have any stock market exposure left. Because you saved up all these years for that, for your retirement and etc. So I mean, you definitely have something like G-Secs and T-bills, which are government-backed, which are probably safer than bank FDs, but I'd say, bank FDs and that too maybe the largest banks in the country, and just having the sense that my investments or my savings is safe is critical at that age, because you don't want to handle any kind of volatility in terms of your saving and investing at least at that age. So I don't think any other instrument really is an option. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about technology. Obviously, you see a lot of cutting-edge stuff around you. But when it comes to senior care, what are some of the technological trends that you foresee or you would like to see in terms of how care is delivered?
I'm super excited about the GLP-1 drugs, right? The semaglutide, different forms of semaglutide, because in India is really the diabetic capital of the world, right? And most of our the old age problems are really arising out of diabetes, and and we have found this wonder drug that basically is counter to that, and more importantly, the food that we consume are like low protein and highly processed, as in it's turning highly processed as time goes by, so I think the GLP-1 drugs, especially because it's going off patent in 2026-27, is going to be the key. And I'm sure Dr. Reddy's and Biocom, etc., will do a great job in in making it available to the public at prices which are absolutely nothing. And I think the life expectancy, I mean, the India's life expectancy is what, 67 or 68. So it's bound to go up over the next 5 to 10 years. And I mean, in turn, it's hugely beneficial for you guys as a market. So I think I'm super excited about that. In terms of AI, I mean, a lot is being said, and I don't think the current bunch of old people are really the types who can interact with the automated voice or automated chat or etc. Maybe when I'm old, and I'm at the age of being in a senior care, I would probably consume AI. And I guess AI is generally in terms of any automation, I think India is still early for it. And maybe 10, 15 years is what it'll take. I mean, that's what I got, that's talking, but that's what it feels like.
In terms of technology, do you see anything else other than, say, for medical care management or nutrition? Do you see any other technology coming in for the current set of elders?
I mean, see, the medical care, the management, etc., they are straightforward vendor-based products. As in, yeah, potentially you can, if now that you have you as the industry, then there are going to be vendors who are going to come with products and you can consume on top of it. I don't think that's really cutting edge as such. But yeah, but that's bound to happen.
So let's jump into a bit of a personal question for you. Since you said when you get older, would you consider putting your mom into a senior living facility?
My mom is super active and social. I think she's like a 40-year-old in a 65-year-old body. So, I mean, sorry, 65-year-old in a 40-year-old body. So, I don't think my mom really needs to be put in a senior care living, but my dad, who passed away last year, definitely did. And from the time he retired at 60, I've seen the deterioration in terms of his health, in terms of his mental, physical, everything, So, and he didn't, it's as if his life, almost ended when he retired. Like, he had no social circle, he didn't have anything to challenge himself. And I, like a good son, decided to get him a nurse 4 or 5 years back. And I remember 3 or 4 years ago when we caught up, and I told you about me getting a nurse for him, and you told me that it's probably more harmful, in terms of what you could do to your father. I definitely think that he would have benefited significantly from living in a senior care kind of setup. But I don't know. I after meeting you, I thought about it quite a bit, and we are staying in a joint family, and I mean we stay in the same house. He's got his grandchild. I mean, it didn't feel right to ask him to go and try out. I think as long as the person, the senior, is himself not willing to, I don't think the juniors in the house can really push people. So I think it has to be like that. It has to be that. It has to come from the senior saying, I want to go live here because, I have a social circle and etc. So, but that's one thing I regret. I maybe should have pushed him to try it out at least.
Thank you, Nithin. Thank you for sharing that personal journey around your father. But most of us actually cater to active seniors who all behave like they're 18, but they may be 80 or they may be 75. So there may be a blind spot that it's not for active people. So a lot of people in this room actually deal with seniors who are like you and me, except they are above 60. And they just want a life of convenience and comfort and being in a stress-free environment. But thank you for sharing that, Nithin. I'm going to go a little deeper into your journey around health. Sometime in the last year, you had a health scare. Seema had a health scare, right? Could you tell me a little bit about how your perspectives about health and longevity changed from your own lens? And what are you doing today that a 80, 85-year-old Nithin would look back and say, I think I did something right in my 40s?
I guess we keep talking about the uncertainty of life, but me and Seema got to really experience that. And Seema first with her cancer, then me with the stroke early this year. And I think I wonder. So in a way, I think both of us came out out of it extremely soon. And then I think both of us stayed very positive. When she was going through a cancer episode, I remember, I think 1 week or 2 weeks after surgery, she was back on the treadmill. And I was back on the treadmill after a week. So just being positive is really what has helped us. And not just me and her, be it, my mom, or be it Nikhil, or be it my son. Everyone in a family was like, it was very positive. I think that's really the key. The key is to just think of what is bygone as a bygone, and it's an accident. It can happen to anyone. And but I in terms of food and all, I don't know. I feel what happened with me is, in terms of longevity, etc. I don't think I could have done anything differently. I was the fittest myself last January. I've done Ironman, I've done high rocks, etc. So it was really like a culmination of dad passing away, stress with dad. Not really stress, I would say. I hadn't slept for a few days. I had contracted COVID. I was dehydrated because I'd gone to his hometown and we were across many temples and etc. So all of that together probably when some of this accident happened. In terms of my longevity, I care. This year I care a lot more about the kind of quality of food that goes in. I question almost everything that's put on my table, right? At home, in a sense, at home, if there is, like a sabji made, I would question where was the food sourced from? Like, to the extent that was it really organic, and etc. So we are going to kind of like prototype a small little farm.
Oh, wow.
Because I think in India people don't question that. People assume the food as such. In terms of other thing about quality of your longevity is the quality of air. I stay kind of not really outskirts, but a little out of town, just because the air quality is better, is under 20, and so I think you do all of this, and you don't die for the next 20, and next 20, 30 years. And I think the technology is progressing so much that I think the next 20, 30 years, if we don't die, we will live over 20 years or more. As in, it's especially like GLP drug, as in, who would have thought, as in this could even be possible, right? As in,
Yeah.
That's really it.
So that's a good thing for people in this room, right? If most people make it beyond 60, you're saying that they live above 100. Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
from now onwards, the next 20 years, next 15, 20 years, people find a way to don't die, so they can.
Well, Brian Johnson is in Bangalore right now, so it seems to be a bit of a word going around. So that's great news for all of us in the room. We're going to have a whole bunch of centurions, so they'll need stuff to be taken care of for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, the issue is financially is the issue. As in, most people have factored in like the 20 to 30-year-old, maximum 20 to 30 years of savings when they retire. Now, if they have to lead a 6-year life after retiring, how would they be financially secure is a question. That's a larger question we need to ask, but yeah.
So one other thing, Nithin, I'm just going to circle back, because in India, this emotion that children are the best caregiver for their parents, and that parents should be in the same house, is a very strong notion and emotion, right? But a lot of data and science has proved that elders actually age slower when surrounded by friends as well as family in communities and in a stress-free setup, right? But how would you go about changing this notion that what some of us do is essentially a vruddhashram or an old age home? And the same applies to even people who seek care at home, because we have always been taught that we should, respect our parents, we should give them reverence. We have never been taught that we should give them relevance and make them independent, because that makes them feel good. But how would you go about changing this narrative at scale around this country?
Well, the thing is, because at home I wasn't successful in terms of changing the narrative. So I, every time, we have invested in a few startups in this space, and I question this myself, as in, what would I have changed? Or what could I have changed? I think it's a lot tougher when you have joint families, because it carries a lot of stigma. But the good thing for you as an industry is that people are not living in joint families anymore. So it's kind of reducing at really fast rate. So I guess if the family is not living together, then it probably is an incentive for the kid to ask the parent to go stay in a place like this. So it's a lot less, you know, headache, uncertainty, and etc. Um, so I guess that is the overall trend the industry has to play with, and
So,
get it right.
you know, funnily enough, like you mentioned, almost always, like in our case, about 95% of all the people who bought are elders themselves, and they made their own decisions with their own money and resources. So you're right when you say that it has to be elder first and led by the elder, and not the children telling the elder what to do.
Right. I mean, how does it scale as a question? As in, how does
Yeah.
how do you, like, you know, out of 1,000 potential customers, how do you get, 600, 700 elders to feel like they want to stay in in such a community is the question. As in, it is going to happen. It's just a matter of time, and I guess all of you guys will have to be patient.
So, Nithin, what is your vision of this industry for the next 10, 20 years? What are the mega trends that you see happening in India?
See, the thing is, I mean, I don't see there any trends per se. As in, the bet is not on the trend that something's gonna change, or the bet is that people, elder, needs, a community to live in, right? As in a community where they can interact with people, they can, like the whole thing. So, I mean, yeah. So I don't think of any trends as such. So.
Okay. So, you know, a lot of people in this room, of course, are also looking to raise money. So, for those of them who are looking to raise some money, can you talk to us a little bit about what you look for in age tech? What do you look for in a founder? And what's your general perspective on investing in this space?
I think about this space, like I was saying earlier, it's about the skill set required is to survive, like being like that cockroach that can survive like a long period of time, and skill set is going to be that's going to be the most important thing. And when people come, when they have these business models that say that in 7 years, or 10 years, I think it's not that. It's not a traditional VCable model also, because there is no trend that you're catching. You're trying to say the trend is going to come, and we have to play it along. So, like I was telling earlier, it's potentially a 15 to 20 year old business, and the business model has to factor in that. And the business model, I don't think, can be built saying, at the end of 1 year I need this much money, at the end of 3 years I need this much money, at the end of 5 years I need this much. I mean, I think the idea is to build a business slow and not really chase growth at any cost, and especially in this space. So I think that's really the key. In terms of product, etc., I mean, it's a given that the best product wins. As in, it's there's no two ways about it. I mean, yeah, I'm assuming that you're the best product in your category, and after that, what is the second, third question? it's about this, I think.
Absolutely. No, that's very important, and very few people take that approach. So I think, guys, what Nithin is essentially saying is, if it's tough, stick around. If you do the right thing for long enough, I think great businesses get built with patience. And Nithin and Nikhil are great examples of great businesses built with a lot of patience. So, with that, Nithin, thank you so much. I'm going to just open it up to the audience, and we'll come back to you with some questions. So, guys, anybody has any questions for Nithin? If you could pass the mic to the gentleman at the back. Yeah, so just a couple of questions we have time for. Please, sir.
Yeah. My name is Dharmarajan. My question pertains to the social stock exchange, which was instituted recently. We have, more of non-profit organizations and a certain few FPEs also permitted, for-profit enterprises as well on the SSE. But we don't find any one of them particularly focused towards senior living. It's more towards skill development and, environment and sanitation and maybe education and stuff like that. Do you think we can have some focus towards FPEs, which are senior living focused as well?
Yeah, firstly, the social solution, it's meant for not-profits to raise money from people. And currently the problem is people can't really participate in it. Right? So, the idea is eventually like how you can apply for your IPOs using UPI. You can apply for social stock exchange, using UPI. That's when I think it's the idea will become more mainstream. In terms of FPs related to senior care, the thing, it needs to have project. It needs to have, saying this project is for social stock exchange. You need to have a project. I'm trying to think, what project can you go and raise capital from social investors? Right now I can't think of anything, but let me give it more thought, and I'll probably get in touch with Adarsh and reach out. As in, I can't really think of what aspect of an FP building for building for senior care will come under a social stock exchange. So.
Thank you. Thanks, Nithin. We have time for one more question, guys.
You're confident that seniors won't be consuming AI products directly themselves, but what are your thoughts around caregivers, physicians, nurses in the senior care sector using AI to provide better care or to scale up their capabilities? Do you see that being useful?
Yeah, absolutely. For that, when I answered the question, was in definitely, I find that I think that all of the people that you mentioned, by using AI, they can increase efficiency in terms of the care, the product, etc. They can offer. So I definitely think so.
Awesome. Thank you, Nithin. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Thank you. For being a great audience. We'll move on to the next session. Yeah.